Tolmos moved stealthily through the mass of emerald green. The plants parted around him like water around a shark as he moved stealthily through the undergrowth. It hid his movement and muted his sounds as he approached the camped Terranians. Quietly, Zamorian steel was drawn from its sheath, and without so much as a whisper, he slipped from the bright green embrace of the tall grass and ended the life of the first man before they even knew the devil was upon them. Welcome back, everyone, to another exciting episode of Starships and Steel. Today, we're going to build, as you can tell, some grass. We're going to build some plant stands and a simple aquarium plants and or grass matting that you might find at Michael's, such as this. I got this on sale pretty cheap. I got it for, I actually got this from the dollar store for $2. So, and that's like $2 Canadian. That's like free for you American watchers. So, pretty cool. It's not the exact one I used. I used a little bit different one that I do think I got from Michael's that was on sale. But it's still pretty much exactly the same thing. With these, you can grab the plants and pull them off so you get individual plant things. You can cut these off. And well, I'll show you that in the video. But super cheap, chipboard for base, a little bit of hot glue, some paint, some passable plant stands. So without further ado, I'm going to go over here and I'm going to build those stands where you watch, and hopefully you'll find some inspiration and some desire, or whatever you want to call it, to build some cool plant stands for yourself, and your players can have some awesome outdoor adventures. Let's get over to the craft table. All right, so let's get ready to build these plants. We're going to need some few supplies, which we got here for you. This is, a glue gun, of course. Everyone has to have a glue gun. Some plastic plants, because that's what we're going to build it out of, and chipboard for a base. And that's it, plus some paint. Oh, and this little drill that I have, it's kind of like a little push drill. Power drill works too, but this is quieter and I have it there, so awesome. Take your figure. This is going to use that to just kind of get some scale on how big you want that plant to be. And just go over it like that, and then just cut that bad boy out. Just like that. So you can use whatever you want to cut it. Like my little dude there said, scissors work good. So once we have it cut out, we're just going to go back around and trim off any of the kind of nasty stuff that we left on there. Make it look nice and neat. Just like that. So we got that. We're going to take a pen and we're just going to kind of visualize where we want the plants to be. You won't be able to see this by the time we're done, but it gives you an idea when we go forward. So next step, we don't want this to warp when we paint it, and we want to add some texture at the same time. So let's just cover that whole thing in hot glue. The whole thing. Use a bit of glue. Glue's pretty cheap though, so let's go over it like this. Make sure you get all the holes. Work it up, make it look kind of like mud. Maybe some wet dirt. Whatever. You can go back over this with flock later if you want. I didn't bother because I wanted these to be as simple as possible. Alright, we're just filling in these little holes. Sped it up a little bit because it's kind of boring to watch. So there we go. Now we're going to take some burnt umber. It's basic craft paint. We want this to be a little bit darker, so I'm gonna put that in there, add a little bit of black paint. And I also want to apologize briefly for the autofocus on this. I thought I managed to turn it off on both cameras, but apparently I failed. Oh well, sorry. A little bit of flow aid, and then just paint that bad boy up. This would be your good base color. It's easier to paint it now than to paint it after you get the plants in. It's like that, nice and quick. Looking good. While that dries, we want it to be really dry. Get your plant stands. Like the thing I showed you, that mat at the beginning, they come off in these little clumps. So we're going to have to cut the plants off of those clumps to make it work really well. And you can use whatever kind of plants you want. Probably need quite a few. I think I used 3 or 4 of these stands. So that's like 12 or 16 pieces of... No, I think I only used 2 now that I think about it. I think I put 4 and 4 in. But you could do more. And you can use different styles too, which I did for some of mine. So here's my little drill. So I'm going to drill little holes with a piece of foam underneath so I don't drill my mat. And I'm going to use these holes to hold my plant stalks as I glue them. And it'll allow me to do some neat stuff with them. So just kind of go over, drill your 4 holes, 5 holes, whatever you want. If your drill bit's a little bit small, don't forget you can get like a bamboo skewer like this and just make that hole bigger. You want these plants to go in pretty easily, and stick in those holes. That's part of how they're going to stand up there. Makes it easier than trying to stick them in the hot glue and then hold them up. So here I'm using a little metal tool, which makes that hole a little bit bigger, a little bit easier without breaking the wood. So once I'm convinced these are going to work out for me, that one looking pretty good. I'm going to get that hot glue gun. I'm going to cover all 4 holes. And then I'm going to start sticking my glue. I'm going to start clicking my plants into those holes. So important tip here. I covered all 4 holes with glue. If you do that, you're going to have to go fast. Because otherwise that glue is going to cool off and you're not going to be able to get your plants in there. Which is what happened to me. So after I decided this wasn't working, I had to pull the plants off that didn't stick in the holes. And then cut that glue out and re-drill the holes and re-open them up, which we'll see right now, because I filmed it for you guys. Wasn't that nice of me? Filming my mistakes so you guys could learn from them. It's important. So I get that glue out, get the plant back in there. Make sure it fits. Good, looks good. Get the glue in there. Alright. So that's looking not bad. And we'll see the bottom here. You can see the plants stick out from the bottom. And you can change the elevation like my little guy there says. Make some plants taller, some plants shorter. A little bit of variation. So let's do the other side now. We're going to use the drill. We're going to fast forward this whole thing, make it nice and fast. We'll show you the entire process. On this one, I glued the plants 2 at a time. This was much better, much easier. Didn't have to take any of the glue off. Just nice and simple. Simple is good. I like simple. I like when things work properly. Alright. There's our basic plant stand. So we're just going to go back in with that dark burnt umber. It should still be wet enough. Just cover the glue we just put down, as well as, you know, the edges of the board. You want those covered up. Otherwise it'll look like cardboard. More like cardboard. I don't know. Like cardboard, I guess. Alright. I'm going to get a tan color. This is cashmere tan. And we're just going to take some on the paintbrush and do a fairly heavy dry brush and just pick up those ridges that the hot glue left. Just like this. Looking good. So one of the advantages to this over a green flocking again, just like on the fences from my last video, is I can use these anywhere I want. I can have them be little pieces of greenery coming up out of the snow or whatever, which I guess I could do anyways, but they can be used anywhere. Yeah, I like them that way. So I think they're more modular, though at a really green base. So that's my thoughts there. So that's how it looks. Pretty good. And yes, by crumb, that is an easy plant stand. I built a whole bunch of these before my last video, or my last game, so they were pretty good. And the last step is just to take your knife, make sure it's sharp. This one's not, so I'm going to go to a new knife and just take off the bottom, make it nice and smooth. So here's my new knife. This is how it should look more like. And the plastic comes off, the card comes off, makes a nice smooth base. And if you're having problems, like our little buddy again says, you could use some sandpaper and just flatten it out a little bit more. But yeah, so that's how it looks. They're pretty fast, pretty easy to build. You can mass produce them. This one, you know, we built so our little figure could stand in it, which is kind of neat. So there you go, and just hide her in the brush. Alright, pretty cool. Now, so this is what they look like in play. This is kind of like a hidden glade that my players found with all these plants. We built them all like the day before. And all the different kinds of plants I used. I didn't just use the ones I showed you in this video. But yeah. So if you liked it, that's how it looked like. We'll take it back over to me and I'll close out the video and see you guys later. Alright, welcome back. I told you they'd be simple. So if you liked the video, don't forget to click like. I got a lot of you know, different media. Check me out on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, whatever. I also want to say that over on Facebook, me and a couple guys, being Project Deadfall and Roll for Damage, have started a little bit of a community. We had a little bit of a Facebook group going that we were discussing the future of our channels, and we've opened that up to become a community. So check that out. I'll put the link below, of course, and you guys can stop by and join the chat. And we like to see everything you want to build. You know, if you're building crafts, if you have adventures you're working on, RPG systems, whatever. We want to see your creativity. Join us in the chat on Facebook. Without further ado, I'm going to drink my coffee because it's Saturday morning for me. So good. And I will catch you guys all on the next episode of Starships and Steel. Keep it weird, everybody.